Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a traditional West Virginia hot dog sauce. This is a recipe I have been promising for quite a while, and I'm finally getting around to it just in time for the 4th of July weekend. The ingredients that we are going to need are 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm using a 90-10 just so I don't have to skim as much fat off the top of it while it cooks. I've got 1 large onion that I put on the blade attachment of my food processor to get it ground down as finely as I could. If you don't want to do that, you can grate this on a box grater. It works just as well. You're going to need 32 ounces of tomato sauce. This is 33.5, so I probably won't use quite all of this. I've got 3 cups of water. For our seasonings, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2.5 tablespoons of chili powder, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I also have 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. You will also need hot dog buns as well as a package of your favorite hot dogs. Now, traditionally, West Virginia hot dogs have coleslaw on top. So we are going to be making our coleslaw dressing from scratch by using 1/2 cup of mayo, 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And you're also going to need 2 bags of cabbage. I bought the coleslaw mix, and I went ahead and put it in my food processor on the blade attachment and just chopped it down till it was really fine. And these are all the ingredients that we are going to need to make a delicious West Virginia hot dog. So first off, let me move you over to my stove and we'll go ahead and get started cooking the sauce portion. Alright guys, so all I'm going to do is put in my ground beef. Now this package was like 2.5 pounds, so I removed 1/2 pound of ground beef from it, and I should have just about 2 pounds here. And I'm just going to go ahead and start breaking it up a little bit. I'm not really concerned about getting this browned or anything right at this point, because this is actually going to cook in the water and tomato sauce. So that looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and put in my onions. I'm going to go ahead and add in my 3 cups of water. And I'm going to add in all of my tomato sauce. And you just want to stir this around really well. You want to start breaking that hamburger up even more. And be sure not to taste it at this point. This meat is still raw. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add the whole container. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my spices, as well as my salt, and my 2 tablespoons of sugar. Alright guys, so now all we need to do is make sure our spices and everything are well stirred in. And I'm simply going to drop my heat down to low and let this simmer for about 2 hours until the hamburger is completely cooked. Now if any fat rises to the top, you're going to want to skim that off as it does. And then you're definitely going to want to come over and stir this probably about every 20 to 30 minutes. Just to make sure that the hamburger is staying completely separated. You don't want it kind of coming back together and forming into a ball. Alright guys, so now what I'm going to do is cover this, and I'm going to move you back over to my other counter, and we're going to go ahead and get the coleslaw ready. Before I move on to making the sauce, I do want to say one thing about the white vinegar. This will be going into our hot dog sauce, but not until it's cooked for 2 hours. So I'm just going to set that aside until we're ready for it. For our coleslaw dressing, all we need to do is combine our ingredients. So I'm going to start with my mayonnaise. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my buttermilk as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my brown sugar, my salt and pepper, as well as my apple cider vinegar. And we're just going to stir this well until everything is incorporated. And you may want to whisk for this. In fact, I think I do. Here we go. Let's go ahead and whisk this together. And you want to make sure you work out all of the mayo lumps. While I'm doing this, I would like to remind you of the Gamers and Geeks playlist that Gamester Dad and I have going on our channel. So if you would like to be a part of it, it's really easy. All you have to do is go out and make a cooking video. And once you've done that, post it to your channel. And then let either JPEG or I know in the comments section of our latest cooking videos, or if you're part of our Discord servers, you can let us know over there as well. Remember, it is a community-driven playlist made up of you, our friends and YouTube family. And I believe we are at or just over 200 videos on the playlist, which is absolutely amazing. I've gotten this completely whisked together, and now all that's left to do is just pour it over our coleslaw. So now all I need to do is stir this together. And you don't want like a super wet coleslaw. It looks like I don't have enough dressing, but I do. So it's going to, as it sits up in the refrigerator, kind of release some of the juices from the cabbage. And it will be absolutely plenty for this amount. There we go. That looks really good to me. So now all I'm going to do is cover it and sit it in the refrigerator until we are ready for it. So I will see you guys in about 2 hours. Alright guys, it has been 2 hours that our sauce has been simmering on the stove. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and add in my 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. And I'm going to stir this around really well because I want to get it fully incorporated in. And we do need to let this cook for another half an hour since we've added the vinegar. It's going to just kind of help bring all the flavors in here together. You'll be surprised at how much that little bit of vinegar really changes the taste of this, and it makes it so good. And also, I want to remove a little bit of this now and put it into a smaller pot because this is just regular, but I want some hot dog sauce as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at this time. And I'm not going to be taking out all that much. I just want to do a little bit, just enough for pretty much the hot dogs that I have for tonight. Get my stove turned on. And the way I'm going to spice it up is just with some red pepper flakes. I'm going to be fairly liberal with it, maybe not that liberal, but yeah, about, I don't know, a teaspoon of them. I'll start with that and see if that's going to be enough. Actually think I'm going to go for just a little bit more on that. And I think maybe even I'm going to take out another scoop of this. And I'll just get these stirred around. I'm going to let these cook for another half an hour. I've got my hot dogs over here in the water all ready to go. I'm going to get my buns steamed up, and when this is all together, I will put together a traditional West Virginia hot dog for you. So I will see y'all in just a little bit. Alright guys, our hot dog sauce is done. Now all we have left to do is assemble our hot dogs. And go ahead and remove the plastic from my coleslaw here. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of dressing in there. We just need to mix it around. And this is really good. I really like this dressing. You just get a tiny little bit of the tang from the buttermilk. And it's going to be perfect with our hot dogs. So that looks good to me. Now, the way I like mine is with a little bit of both sauces. We call that a mixed sauce. And all I'm going to do is go in with a little bit of my regular sauce right down one side of it. And I'm going to do that on both hot dogs. And then on the other side, I'm going to go in with my hot sauce. This smells so good. I'm really excited to get in here and get a bite of this. I haven't made this in, I think about a year. So there we go. And all we're going to do now is top it with our coleslaw. There we go. Oh man, those look so good. Let me get some of this stuff out of our way and we'll go ahead and get in here and give them a taste. Alright guys, I am really excited to get in here and try this, so let's get in here, give it a bite, see what we think about it. This is so good. The sauce tastes exactly like my favorite hometown hot dog back in West Virginia. It's been a while since I've been home and had one, so I've been really craving it, especially with the holiday weekend coming up. And I think this is about as close as I'm ever going to get to having their recipe. The coleslaw kind of helps mellow out the heat from the hotter of the hot dog sauces. And I really do enjoy the flavor of it with the hot dog and the sauce all together. So this recipe actually made quite a bit of hot dog sauce. And I will say it lasts for about, I don't know, about 6 days in your refrigerator before you either need to eat it all or do something with it. It also freezes beautifully for up to 3 months. And if you're a home canner like me, you can can this up and have it on your shelves for up to a year. Just make sure you're following the National Food Guidelines for home preservation and canning. But yeah, guys, this is one of my favorite hot dog sauces. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, leave me a comment down below. If you guys try this recipe out, let me know how it turns out for you. Remember to check out the Gamers and Geeks playlist. I will leave a link down in the description to it. And as always, thank you all so very much for joining me today. I've been Vault Girl. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.